All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. 3 things that I do to stay productive, okay? And let me just let you guys know, this is a disclaimer, I was not always this way. When I first started entrepreneurship, your girl was all over the place, ADHD for sure, could never start something and finish it, all right? And I would find myself wasting a lot of time and then only getting a couple of things done within a 5-hour period. I'm like, okay, something's not right. Got to improve this. So now I'm going to give you guys my productivity tips. Number one, I do my highest energy stuff first thing. First, okay? So what I mean is your highest energy stuff, I want you to look at your energy like a gas tank, okay? And assuming you got 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep, 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep, you should have a full tank of energy when you start your day. Assuming you don't have any deficiencies, okay? You should be full of energy as soon as you wake up. As soon as that alarm goes off, you might take a few minutes to wake up, but once you're up, like you are the most high energy. That's what you should be doing, the biggest task that runs the business first. Okay, so for me, it's creating content and it's going live. So I make sure that when I do my live, that is the very first thing that I did for the day that required energy. My content requires energy, right? I can't be on the camera like, all right, you guys, so this is what we're gonna do. Like what? I can't be on my live like, yeah, you guys, so what we're gonna do here is, and scratching my eye and yawning. What? Y'all gonna swipe off so quick? So I make sure I do those first thing. Now, when I first started my coaching business last year in 2025, I was doing my TikTok lives, my YouTube lives at the time frame in which the algorithm pushed me to do it. Meaning, when I first started going live, I was going live like 3 times a day, just trying to find that sweet spot, like when are most people active, right? And so I noticed I was getting a larger room on TikTok when my lives were around 10 a.m. But I'm a morning person anyways, like I've always been, even when I had a job. And so I would always be up around 6 or 7, right? And I noticed, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm just sitting around for like 3 hours trying to do a live at 10 a.m. But to me, if I'm on a 2-hour live, by 12, I personally feel like my day is almost over, right? Some people are like, yeah, 12 is when things first get started. No, for me, 12 is when things start winding down, okay? And I just didn't like that time frame. And so I also didn't feel like I was selling as much as I could have because it just wasn't conducive with who I was and how I like to structure my day. I since then changed that. Now I go live when I have my highest energy, which is first thing in the morning, which is why you guys see me on live at 6 o'clock in the morning, okay? Because I am up by 4, 3 or 4, I am up. And so since doing that, not only has it been easier for me to go live, I've actually converted more sales in a smaller room because my energy is a lot better because that matches who I am, okay? So do your highest energy stuff first. Because once I get off live, to me, that was the highest energy thing. Now everything else that I have to do to run my business, that doesn't take as much energy, okay? So same with content. On the days that I don't go live on YouTube and TikTok, that's when I create the content, like I'm batch recording these videos. I do not make content and go live on the same day. I tried it. I was trying that for a while, and it was hard for me to stay consistent with that because it's just too much energy expenditure for me. Okay, so it's either I'm on live one morning or I'm making content. Today I did not go live, which is why I'm batch recording content. The second thing that I do to be the most productive is I have a bedtime and I stick to it. It was hard at first because I did used to be the person that would just kind of like watch TV until I felt sleepy or scroll social media until I felt sleepy. And then I would just go to bed at whatever time that was. Some days that could be 8 o'clock. Other days it could be 2 o'clock in the morning. And so it was just never a consistent schedule. I've noticed that since having a bedtime and getting up at the same time every day, regardless of what day of the week it is, whether it's a Saturday or a Tuesday, I've noticed that I've been more productive. It's like my body is guaranteed rest, and it knows that. And so I get the most out of my body because I do that. I'm also a very active person, so I walk about 20,000 steps a day, and I do lift weights. And so that takes a lot of energy for a body to be able to do all that. But again, because I lock in a bedtime and I stick to it, and most of the time I do get 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep a night, I have more energy the next day to work on my business, to be active. So set a bedtime, man. A lot of people set an alarm, but they don't set a bedtime. I don't even need an alarm. You know, I typically get up naturally at this point around the same time every day. It might be about 30 to 45 minutes off-ish, but because I have a bedtime, I let my body just naturally wake up. And by doing that, I'm not groggy throughout the day. Like, I don't need, mid-afternoon coffee. I don't know. I don't have that late morning grogginess. I'm not crashing. So I think it really just has a lot to do with your sleep. Sleep is so important. And I used to be the person, no, if you're sleeping, you ain't working. I noticed that I get more done. I'm more disciplined. I make more money because I prioritize my sleep than when I wasn't. I don't feel the need to chase money. It comes to me. When I was doing the lives or late morning, that was more me chasing sales. Now the sales come to me because I go live at the time that's best for my body, my schedule, which is 6 a.m. The right people will find me. The right people will purchase, right? I don't have to chase what the algorithm is telling me to do. So get your sleep. Get your sleep. The third thing that I do to stay productive is removing distractions. So I used to be a very heavy drinker, so that was my distraction, alcohol. Since getting that out of my life, I've been way more productive. A lot of times the distractions that we have is just forms of escapism. And the reason you're trying to escape is because there's things about your life that you're not happy with. The reason why I was trying to escape through alcohol was because I hated my job. I was stressed. I also wasn't confident in who I was. I didn't feel my prettiest. I didn't feel smart. Just very self-hating. And so I was trying to run from that instead of fixing the things that I don't like about myself so I can stop self-hating myself. And so I would use alcohol as a way to cope. Well, going to counseling and, healing my traumas, that started to change how I viewed myself. I recognized that I had more power than I thought I had. If I don't like my body, I can lose weight, right? If I don't like my smile, I can go get veneers, which I did. So, there's certain things that you can change, that you have in control of, but you don't even see it that way because you're so focused on distracting yourself from whatever you're not happy with. I hated my job and I felt like I was always going to be there. There was no way out. And then COVID came around, OnlyFans blew up, and I said, let's do it, right? Best thing I ever did for myself because I got myself out of an environment that I absolutely hated that was honestly killing me slowly. So stress is a silent killer. And I was extremely stressed at that job. And my life is completely different. It's completely transformed. But again, you got to let go of those distractions because whatever you are using to distract, whether it's social media, gambling, I know a lot of people are into like sports betting and stuff like that. And it's one thing to do it every now and again, like every couple of months. But if you're doing it like every day for hours, yeah, I'm going to need you to cut that out. We got to slice and dice, okay? So maybe you hang out with toxic people all day. That's a distraction. So whatever it is, you got to remove that because once you let go of that distraction, you'll see how much time you really do have. And that time that you now have, because you're not distracting yourself, you can lock in and fix the things about your life that you're not even happy with, okay? so you become more and more productive. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on anything that I said. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.